looks like Facebook and Zoom are ready to go, so let's begin our service. If you'd like to see the order of service, you can use the QR code that's up on the screen. And without further ado, our beautiful Rev Amy.
I found an acorn in my pocket, a tiny travel token of time upon a mountain, seldom touched by a human hand. And as I held it in my fingers, I remembered truth unspoken that rang inside my heart, the place the heavens touched the land. And I said, why can't the whole world be like this? Well, maybe it can be if I decide it is. Here's your part, and just scatter seeds for the love I'm giving. Scatter seeds and watch kindness grow. Scatter seeds, let the wind carry this song till the whole world sings along as we scatter seeds. Found a little piece of paper, the note you'd written on it, a quote from MLK about how light can heal the dark. And in that moment you remember that feeling of belonging, the fire of hope and purpose that keeps burning in your heart. And you say, why can't I feel this every day? Well, maybe you can when you spread love along your way, as you scatter seeds of the love you're giving. Scatter seeds and watch kindness grow. Scatter seeds, then everywhere you go, you can watch the new world grow as you scatter seeds. Remember that the mighty oak was just a little nut that held its ground. I found an acorn in my pocket, Mother Nature's sweet reminder that I'm still a work in progress with a lot of room to grow. And as I hold it in my hand, once again I learn the lesson that as we give, we shall receive, and we reap just what we sow. And if I really mean to be the change, it starts with every deed I do and every word I say, as we scatter seeds from the love we give and scatter seeds and watch kindness grow. Scatter seeds, every heart is fertile ground for the hope that we have found, as we scatter seeds from the love we're given. Scatter seeds and watch kindness grow. Scatter seeds, then with our heads and hearts and hands, we can grow the promised land when we scatter seeds. When we scatter seeds.
And with that, we remember that Rev Amy is also a renowned folk singer. Yay! Welcome, everybody, to the beloved community at River of Grass Unitarian Universalist Congregation, both here in person and love streamed via Zoom and Facebook Live. We celebrate all the many ways that we can get together these days. Our beloved community gathers in body and in spirit as we go and grow and flow the River Way. My name is Leanna Bresnahan, and my pronouns are she and hers. Welcome to everyone here in this room, and to everyone on Zoom and Facebook Live, we welcome you too. However you've made your way here today, you are welcome. So let us pause for just a moment here as we enter into this time together, as we connect with one another and with the holy by any name, and also the light of love within us all. While we remain mindful that not everyone can breathe easy, nor find it easy to breathe, let us pause here in the headlong rush of our lives to breathe into our time together. At River of Grass, we are committed to our mission to nurture our spirits, to love intentionally, and to create a just and healthy planet. What we share here at River of Grass is not an unchanging dogma, but rather a deep and abiding commitment to our free and responsible search for truth, meaning, and faith, and our affirmation that we are called to be agents of love and justice, and to build a world where everyone is cherished for who they are.
This morning we celebrate the awakening of spring with this elemental greeting of spring by David Ensley. At this time of balance, at this time of awakening, we celebrate Ostara, the spring equinox.
We honor the fertile earth. We honor the warming breezes.
We honor the waxing light. We honor the nurturing rains.
Welcome spring, new life to bring to land, to us, to all.
Welcome spring, rebirth we sing within and round us all. Sing of the east, the realm of air, their gifts of sight and wisdom fair. Dancing March breeze on this blessed morn, we celebrate spring, newly born.
Sing of the south, where fire burns bright, their gifts of passion and ardent light. Lengthening warm days on this blessed morn, we celebrate the spring, newly born.
Sing of the west, deep water clear, their gifts of health and love draw near. Flowing with life on this blessed morn, we celebrate the spring, newly born.
Sing of the north and strength of earth, their gifts of love in joyous rebirth. Springing up green on this blessed morn, we celebrate the spring, newly born.
Sing of the lady and lord of greenwood, joyful spring maiden and shepherd good. Bringing us joy on this blessed morn, we celebrate the spring, newly born.
Sing of the Spirit, source of all, giver of life, to you we call. Moving in us on this blessed morn, we celebrate the spring, newly born.
May the powers of the Ancient One,
the Spirit of life, source of all creation,
may the powers of the Goddess, bright Lady of the Moon,
and the God, horned hunter of the sun,
may the powers of the guardian spirits,
rulers of the elemental realms, may
may
the powers of the stars above and the earth below bless this time, this place, and all who gather here.
We celebrate this month of awakening with our choir who brings us, I Know This Rose Will Open. Please sing As You Are So Moved.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a beacon of religious liberty shining through generations, now ours to hold high. As we light our chalice together this morning, let us join our voices with these words. On this day of equal light and darkness, as Father Son claims Mother Earth, and once more we light this flame for life renewed, for hope reborn, for the return again of spring. In the light of love, let us renew our covenant as we say together, love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta congregación y el servicio su ley principal. Esta es nuestra gran promesa, vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad a través del amor y ayudarnos mutuamente.
Please rise as you are so moved as we join in this hymn of praise for the beauty of the earth. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of ear and eye, for the heart and mind's delight, for the mystic harmony, linking sense to sound and sight, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the wonder of each hour, of the day and of the night, hill and vale and tree and flower, sun and moon and stars of light, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of human care, sister, brother, parent, child, for the kinship we all share, for all gentle thoughts and mild, source of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Amen.
In our community each week, we share pieces of our lives. We take a moment to share our joys and sorrows and gratitudes here with people who love us for exactly who we are, where we are right now. Here in this room, we will share from this book. If you're on Zoom and would like to share a thought, a prayer, a joy, or a concern with us in this moment, please write it in the chat, and we will lift all of them up together.
In the holy quiet of this hour, we realize that we come into this room with both burdens and joys unspoken. They come in on our hearts unbidden. Likewise, we may arrive here and find that our hearts are trying to tell us something that we didn't realize until we opened a little in the power and safety of community. And so we have made space in our service, a time for us to mark those things that we have carried with us and are carrying with us still, even though we do not write nor say it. Understanding that the intention of bringing it into community provides us with power, with comfort, and with courage as we move through our lives. Please come forward as you are so many. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. Source of all, called by so many names, none of which we can fully know nor understand, we bring these things, written and unwritten, spoken and unspoken. We ask that our hearts be seen even as we learn to be better seers of hearts. We are grateful for this opportunity to bring into the power of community those things which are on our hearts. We are grateful to share our burdens and thereby make them lighter, and to share our joys and make them brighter. We ask for healing for those in pain. We ask for relief for those in grief. We ask for dances for those in joy. We ask for courage and care for any who came for strengthening today, for any who came to chart their way forward through the changes of life. We are mindful also of the sorrows and the struggles outside our doors. We are also mindful of the celebrations outside our doors, for we realize that life is all of these things, and love is all of these things, and time is all of these things. We meet here in this moment now with all of these things, knowing that all of them comprise who we are as humans with divinity and divinity within humanity. May we be so bold a people as to live this truth with and for and through one another in the spirit of all life that moves in this universe and on this earth. All of these things we lift in the name of all that is holy. Amen, amen, amin, aho, ashe, namaste. Blessed be. And so it is. And we seal this prayer with our sung affirmation. From all that dwell below the skies, let songs of hope and faith arise. Let peace, goodwill on earth be sung through every land by every tongue. And where I grew up, we would put that four-part amen on it. By every tongue, amen. Ooh. We had a 9-year-old friend who used to say, "Oh, look, I'm freaked out." Each week we like to mark our history and our future, our looking backwards to those from whom we came and forwards to those who will inherit this work that we do in this time. This morning, time is an illusion. This morning we find our heritage in Henry David Thoreau and John Muir. We know our transcendentalist Unitarian forefather, Henry David Thoreau's 19th century writings were born of reverence for the beauty and power of our Mother Earth. But did you know that Thoreau's work formed the foundations for the work of the naturalist John Muir as he founded the Sierra Club in 1892? It's still going strong today. John Muir founded the Sierra Club with a mission of preserving wilderness areas of the North American continent. Muir was known to carry copies of Thoreau's works with him on his conservation expeditions. In 1893, Muir traveled to Concord, Massachusetts to lay flowers on Thoreau's grave. To this day, the Sierra Club is one of the world's premier climate action and preservation organizations. This morning, we find our hope in Levi Drawheim. Here in the 21st century, meet Levi Drawheim, a Unitarian Universalist youth from Satellite Beach, Florida. See, good stuff can come out of Florida. In 2019, at just 12 years old, Levi was the youngest plaintiff of Juliana versus the United States, a federal lawsuit arguing that our youth have a constitutional right to a stable climate. Levi is also suing the state of Florida on similar grounds. Levi inspires UUs of all ages to think and act seriously about climate change for the rights of younger and future generations. Levi says, I work hard to protect the environment and animals near my home. I want my government to work hard to protect my future and the future of the animals and ecosystems in our country. Here we find our hope.
May I say amen?
Amen.
We sustain and strengthen this beloved community and its work in our world through the gifts of our time, our skills, our love, and our money. Each Sunday, half of our undesignated offerings go to LifeNet for Families, which provides meals, clothing, and other types of support for those in need right here in Broward County. And the other half supports our mission and ministry at River of Grass. Ushers, would you please come forward to receive this offering? You may scan the QR code or text the number on the screen to donate as well. And you can also look at our webpage under Donate. There are other ways to donate.
Lady of the seasons, laughter in the summer's warm beneath. When the winter follows after, teach our spirits not to fear. All us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning year. Sister of the evening starlight, in the falling shadows stay, here among us till the far light of tomorrow's dawning ray. All us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in whose love our life is work, everlasting celebrations bring our labors safe to birth. Help us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth.
Theo, come on up.
Hello. Hi. My name is Theo Lucas. I am one of the newest members here. I go by he, him, or they, them pronouns, please. I just moved here to Florida from North Carolina, myself and my dog, for work. And it's not the first time I've moved to a new city all on my own, so I know how important it is to have a community for both your mental health and for your spiritual and philosophical enrichment. So I looked around. I have been a UU before, so I found here, and I tried a couple of places. And I was thinking about where to go, and I found that I think music is one of the best ways to connect both with myself spiritually, with other people on a deeper level, and with the world as a greater whole. I feel like it's a universal prerogative. Everybody has experienced this. And so I found that here, and I think that it's a really beautiful ministry that we have here, and that's why I joined a few months after my move. I wanted to go into how I really feel connected to each of you individually every time we raise ourselves up in song together, and I just think it's a really beautiful thing. The other thing I love about being a UU is the mantra of come as you are, that we are all imperfect but very loving beings. And in coming here, I've met some really wonderful people who I never would have had the opportunity to meet in my daily life otherwise, which I think makes River of Grass a really valuable and wonderful thing. And so I have these dreams of the future where we can take our ministry, our music, and our love for each other and bring it out into the greater community and share it with other people, bring other people in. I have dreams of we could do song circles while we work together with our hands and things.
Amen. Sorry.
And we could having a common space where we can just dance and honor Mother Earth and things. And so those are my personal dreams for River of Grass. But it's true that you only get out of communities like River of Grass what you put into them. And so that's why we give our time and our talent and our treasure to help create these things together. So I'm hoping that we can all create a lovely home base that's coming soon, and we'll be able to do more good things soon. So thank you.
What y'all don't get to see is what the choir and I and service hosts get to see up here during the service. Y'all out there don't get to see Theo's countenance up here conducting the choir. And I tell you what, you can come in wondering how you're going to get through this day, and that will move you and change you and recharge your heart. Thank you.
Welcome to March. March is our annual pledge drive, and we are to the third week and moving fast to the 31st of the month. This week we've had a real surge in contributions and pledges, and we thank you so much, all of you who have stepped up, given more than your share, and as much as you can give responsibly. We need every one of us to be part of River of Grass, and we're looking forward to all we can do when we get together in our new home, starting on the 31st, right, Rev Amy?
We're still aiming for it.
Yay. So let's see what we brought in this week.
This is the Vanna moment.
Could we have a stamp your feet as we get ready for this drum roll? So this week we brought our total to $158,000. We're very excited. And this is towards our goal of $225,000, which is a little bit 2% more than we did last year. So we have so let me tell you the statistics. We have about 24 people who've made pledges, and we have about 23 people who pledged last year, and we haven't heard from you yet. And we sent out an email on Friday to remind you in case you forgot. But you can go to our website. You will find the pledge card there to digitally report your gift to the river. You can also do it from your phone if you're clever enough to find that website on your phone. So please don't wait. We are so anxious to complete this pledge drive, and we want you to be part of it. So thank you so very much. Keep up the good work. Let's do this together.
Hey. As I like to say, give enough that it feels like a sincere commitment, not so much that it feels like a burden. So find that spot in there for you. We also like to take a moment in our service every once in a while to thank the people who make this place go and grow and flow. We are, after all, the river. So this morning, we would like to thank those of you who've already gotten your pledges in. Those of you who now found out about that email are going to go look for it. Going to go look for it.
There's another one coming up.
In your inbox and finish that up today. And for those of you who are pondering what it means for you to be involved with this community in this way, we want to thank you. It's the only way that we get to be together and do this thing that is so beautiful. You didn't have to do what you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. You didn't have to do what you did, but you did, but you did. And we thank you. Yes, applause, y'all. You know, there's always a question about applause in congregational gatherings. And the answer is, are applause appropriate? Yes. Is not applauding appropriate? Yes. There's no blanket rule. There's no applause, and there's no applaud for everything. What we do is we feel what's going on around us. And if the moment calls for affirmation and applause, we do it. If the moment calls for a more settled quiet and applause hands, or just a nod, we do that too. These are the ways that we support one another and put our energy into this time and this work that we share. So the next month and a half or so is going to look different for our Time for All Ages, because our youth are starting OWL. OWL is Our Whole Lives. It's our UU educational curriculum for healthy sex and bodies. So they're going to be, yes, you can applaud loudly for that. Unitarian Universalism, along with the UCC, the United Church of Christ, developed it in the, I want to say 80s. Karen's downstairs. She would correct me if she were up here. But it's been going ever since, and we are known for it. We have people from other traditions, other congregations, people who have no congregational affiliation at all, just read about it in our announcements or in the public announcements, and they bring their children. Especially now in Florida, where our children are not getting education about their bodies and about sexuality in any kind of healthy way. So we are doing our part to fill that gap. So our kids are starting with that. They're getting started today. So we're still going to have Time for All Ages, because note, all ages. We're still going to have wisdom stories, because we are our stories, and the stories that come down through the ages are how we learn. They are how we remember. They are how we ingrain who we are and who we aim to be, and the morals and the values and the ethics of ourselves and our lives. This morning's story is by Peter H. Reynolds, and it is entitled Ish. Ramon loved to draw. Anytime, anything, anywhere. Anywhere. One day Ramon was drawing a vase of flowers. His brother Leon leaned over his shoulder and burst out laughing. "What is that?" he asked. Ramon could not even answer. He just crumpled up the drawing and threw it across the room. Leon's laughter haunted Ramon. He kept trying to make his drawings look right, but they never did. After many months and many crumpled sheets of paper, Ramon put his pencil down and said, "I'm done." Well, his little sister Marisol was watching him. "What do you want?" he said. "I was watching you draw," she said. Ramon sneered, "I'm not drawing anymore. Go away." Marisol ran away, but not before picking up a crumpled piece of paper from the floor and running with it. "Hey, come back here with that!" Ramon raced after Marisol up the hall and into her room, and he was about to yell as he opened the door, but fell silent when he saw his sister's wall. He stared at her crumpled gallery. "This is one of my favorites," Marisol said, pointing. "That was supposed to be a vase of flowers," Ramon said, "but it doesn't look like one." Marisol exclaimed, "Well, it looks vase-ish." "Vase-ish?" Ramon said and looked closer, and then he studied all the drawings on Marisol's walls and began to see them in a whole new way. "Well, they do look ish," he said. All of a sudden, Ramon felt light and energized. Thinking ishly allowed his ideas to flow freely. He began to draw like mad what he felt, loose lines quickly springing out without worry. Ramon once again drew and drew and drew the world around him, making an ish drawing felt wonderful. He filled his journals, tree-ish, house-ish, boat-ish, afternoon-ish, fish-ish, sun-ish. And then he realized he could draw ish feelings too. Peace-ish, silly-ish, excited-ish. His ish art inspired ish writing. He wasn't sure if he was writing poems, but he knew they were poem-ish. Ponder, pond, ponder, dream yonder, pond, pond, yond, yond, gleam, wonder, ponder, pond. One spring morning, Ramon had a wonderful feeling. It was a feeling that even ish words and ish drawings could not capture, and he decided not to capture it. Instead, he simply savored it. And then Ramon lived ishfully ever after. I love this story. We live in a culture that is driven by perfectionism, by accomplishment, by achievement, by measuring marks, by appearances. And so we decided that things like art and writing and music belonged in professions instead of the way we live. What if, like Ramon, we turned ourselves loose to be musician-ish, dancer-ish, chef-ish, seamstress-ish, golfer-ish? What if we turned ourselves loose to be bold-ish, more loving-ish, kind-ish? And instead of measuring whether we have perfected it or not, celebrate the ishness of who we are. For we are never complete. We will never be complete. We will always be, I will always be Amy-ish. Because I'm not done. What if we turned ourselves loose to think about our congregation in this way? We talk about the nature, the culture of River of Grass all the time. So what other things are River of Grass-ish? Especially in this time, we get to cross the threshold into the next era where everything's changed and nothing's changed, and we must change to meet the world that is. What ishness shall we celebrate and savor. Here ends the wisdom story. The American poet John Seuss says, "To be of the earth is to know the restlessness of being a seed. The darkness of being planted, the struggle toward the light, the pain of growth into the light, the joy of bursting and bearing fruit, the joy of being food for someone, the scattering of your seeds, the decay of the seasons, the mystery of death, the miracle of birth." And so at this time of the vernal equinox, the awakening of spring on earth and within our spirits, we consider the plight and the promise of being seeds. In this world, especially here in Florida, of so many amazing varieties of plant life, there is an equally amazing variety of seeds. Some are small, some are large, some float on the wind, some are hard as rocks. Some seeds you can see on the outsides of plants. Some come hidden inside fruit, but all seeds have one thing in common. Whether dropped on the ground or scattered on every breeze that blows, all seeds carry within them the force of life. For it is from seeds that living things grow. We too are living things. And we too spread seeds everywhere we go. Some of the seeds we plant are with our words. Just as seeds do, all words have the force of life within them because they carry thoughts. And thoughts, when planted, grow into action. And action grows into change. And so it is very important to take care what kinds of words take root in our minds and in our mouths. Think of it this way. I'm sure you can remember words someone said to you along the way that were kind, that encouraged you, that affirmed you, that let you feel that you were seen and heard and treasured. And no doubt, you can also remember times where uttered in your direction were unkind words, words that hurt even now. And more likely than not, those words that hurt get a whole lot of your attention. Ever be in a room full of people and you're feeling pretty affirmed and you're feeling pretty stable and reflected and kind and loving, and then somebody walks in the room and the look on their face says they're upset with you or they don't like you, and 300 people disappear and that's the only person you can see? That too is our human nature, because it is our nature to seek for healing and repair of relationship. We are relational beings. And the seeds we plant in relationships sometimes flourish and sometimes need to be tended carefully. Deeds plant seeds too. Things we do or the things we don't or try or won't, the ways we treat ourselves and the ways we treat others, actions we take for the sake of goodness and kindness and justice and hope, or that we don't. Now, we can't control the word seeds or the deed seeds that other people choose to plant along the pathways of their lives, but we can choose the word seeds and the deed seeds that we plant in our lives, with our families, with our friends, with this congregation, with our community, in our world. And these can change the world inside our house, in our neighborhood, in this community, and across planet Earth. Because here's an important thing about seeds. It only takes one. That is, when a single seed is planted, it grows up and produces as many as 4,000 more seeds. If you plant only 1 grain of corn and let it grow into an ear of corn, and then plant the seeds that grew out of that ear of corn, and then continue to plant again and again and again, we are told by people who keep track of these things that in only 5 years, the amount of corn that could be grown from that one single seed would be sufficient to plant an entire hill of corn. And with 3 grains in every square yard of the dry land on earth, and then in 10 years, from that one seed would be enough to cover the entire planet, land, and sea, and all the other planets in the solar system. From one seed. So thinking how far just one good seed, one kind word, one just and compassionate action might grow and grow and grow throughout our universe. Isn't it funny that when we watch fantasy movies and novels and they're time traveling and they're so worried about going back in time, and if they change one tiny thing, it can change the course of history? But we don't seem to think that that works right here and right now. That if we change one seemingly tiny thing today, we could change the course of history. Over in Egypt, centuries ago, people built large pyramids, and when a king or other prominent person died, instead of burying the body in the ground, they embalmed it with spices and dried herbs and wrapped it in cloths. And with these cloths, they also wrapped up wheat or some other kind of grain native to their area. Now, some of these wrapped bodies we've found, we call them mummies, and we put them in movies to be scary. We found that some of these wrapped bodies that have been buried as long as 2,500 years have grain in them. And guess what's happened? When scientists have taken grain out of the mummy's wrappings and planted it in the ground, 2,500 years later, it has grown just as wheat harvested last summer. Seeds contain the force of life. And if you think that what you are doing, your small deeds right now, doesn't last into the future, you would be mistaken. We have no right to feel helpless, powerless, hopeless. We are seeds. And the things we do are seeds. So not only can seeds of words and thoughts and actions that we plant, spread, and grow throughout the world, they continue long after we ourselves are gone. How short-sighted we are. To do only those things that we think we can see the results of now. And that's why it matters so very much that what we say and do and think on this day, in this place, and this time, and every day to come. Now, you might feel discouraged when some of the good things you say and do seem to go unnoticed, but you can be sure that long after you are gone, the good you do today will bear fruit. Generation after generation, generation. And likewise, those things that we don't do cannot bear fruit generation to generation. And here's another thing about seeds. Seeds don't quit. Take the lowly Taraxacum in this poem by my colleague, the Reverend Julian Ninan Soto, in their book, Spilling the Light. Even though they are edible, someone decided that dandelions are weeds. Stragglers to destroy, to uproot. Dandelions never got the memo. Never thought to care. Busy instead with dropping roots, flinging seeds, unfurling shoots, and persistent in digging in that taproot to depths 2 or 3 average adult heights end to end. That tiny little yellow flower survives. you are no less resilient. Reaching both down to the strength that holds you and up to the light, out with your beauty, and you know, having sunk your effort into the cool, damp earth, that while dandelions can be clipped and fought, uninvested in anyone's opinion, they throw their sparkling futures onto the wind, tomorrow tucked into tiny seeds, and they grow all the way back. Strong and bowing at the very same time. You are no less resilient, reaching both below and above for strength and inspiration, persistent, patient, strong, and bowing at the very same time. For you, see, my beloveds, you yourselves are seeds that the universe has planted here and now to grow a better world in the face of every kind of deconstruction and destruction that we face right now. And remember this: if we were not making considerable progress, they would not be fighting us. If we were some funky little sideshow in their view, they would ignore us. But because in the work of justice and liberation we have made great strides, they must try to stop us like dandelions. Or in the words of the 20th century Greek poet Dinos Christianopoulos, they tried to bury us, but they forgot we were seeds. In this time of spring awakening, let us take great care for the seeds we sow and the seeds we are. Let us scatter the seeds of the love we've been given. Scatter seeds and watch kindness grow. Scatter seeds, and then with our heads and our hearts and our hands, we can grow the promised land as we scatter seeds. Say with me, Olam, Chesed, Yibaneh. Olam, Chesed, Yibaneh, which translates, we build the world from love. The Rabbi Menachem Creditor gives us the piece we're about to sing. He drew it from Psalm 89, where King David cries out to God, looking at the state of the world, "You have broken your covenant. Look at our broken world." And God responds, "Oh, wait, no. It's up to you to build the world from love." And how do we do that at River of Grass? We recommit every day to our mission, to nurture spirits, to love intentionally, to create a just and healthy planet. To nurture spirits, to love intentionally, and create a just and healthy planet. To nurture spirits, to love intentionally, to create a just and healthy planet. And on this vernal equinox, as we sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh, seeds are coming to you. Seeds of our mission to scatter on the winds, that they may grow strong, that we may see the fruit of our labor into the coming generations. Please rise as you are so moved as we sing Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh,
La da da la da 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 la da da da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la da da la da 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 la da da da.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la da da la da da la da da. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, la da da la da da la da da. chesed yiboneh. La da da la da da la da da. Olam chesed yiboneh. La da da la da da la da da. Olam chesed yiboneh. La da da la da da la da da.
We have many opportunities in the coming days and weeks to build this world from love. Please be seated while we share in the announcements for the good of this community, the ways we live forward.
At River of Grass, we offer so many different ways to live our Unitarian Universalist faith and put it into action. You'll find many of these where? In your weekly email that comes out every Thursday afternoon. You can also visit our website, riverofgrassuu.org, our Facebook page, both official page and unofficial page. And here are some more opportunities of ways to fulfill the mission and vision of this vibrant congregation. First of all, for our kids. This Sunday, our 4th through 6th graders and their parents are participating in an orientation program for their OWL program, which OWL again stands for Our Whole Lives Sexuality Education. All other kids will be remaining in service. So Theo, there you are. I'm kidding. Theo is no longer a kid. So if you have any questions about the OWL program, please do check with Karen Gonzalez, our religious educator, who should be back here in the worship area after a little while. Our second announcement is about Full Moon Daughters. Springtime camping trip, March 22nd through March 24th, so that's coming up very soon. Today is the very last day, that very last Sunday to register for this camping trip, which is next weekend. It will take place at Highlands Hammock State Park near Sebring. This trip is for women, girls, and all who identify as female. You don't need to have camping gear because there are also hotels nearby. You can come for one night or for two. And for more information or to register, see the sign-up sheet at the welcome table after service, or you can also email Full Moon Daughters at riverofgrassuu.org. Or you can see Mary Lisa Lawless, who's sitting back there with the sign-up sheet. It'll be a blast. Okay. If you are interested, hold on, I have a written, here we go, written announcement. Are you concerned about the upcoming election in November and the
Yes.
threats to our democratic process?
Yes.
Yes. Then let's take action together with UU the Vote. We will be doing work to get out the vote by writing letters and promoting voter registration. And it's important to say this is not about supporting individual candidates, or this is not a partisan effort. This is about getting people to vote. And I will say I attended the training on Thursday night, and I was inspired because they were talking about putting choice onto our ballot here in Florida in November. And I learned that the person who founded Floridians Protecting Freedom is a UU.
Woo.
A young woman named Tara Rodriguez. I did not know that. So, along with Levi Draheim, 2 examples of our hope. The next UU training will take place, or UU the Vote training will take place on April 18th. Let's UU the Vote, because our work is grounded in the spiritual mandate of our 5th principle, building the democratic process. For information, you can email ssjgt@riverofgrassuu.org, or you can see our own Steve Jens Rockout.
So there's lots of different ways that UU the Vote works. And you can work it to the level that you're able, and that works for you. There's phone banking, but it's not the kind of phone banking you might be thinking of. You know the olden days, in the before times when we would gather at somebody's house in the neighborhood and we would all phone bank from their house, with our lists and all that. Y'all remember that? We're not doing that so much anymore. We do it online. But we gather in Zoom and encourage one another and go through the things that we need to talk about, the things we need to say, and then we do targeted calling all over the country, wherever there are issues at stake, wherever democracy is at risk, wherever there are issues on the ballot that we need to support. It's been very, very fruitful, the vote, across the last few years. You can phone bank. You can write letters. You can write postcards. There's any number of ways. You can be a person who brings sustenance to the people who are doing that. There are any number of ways to get involved with the vote. And it works. And it's fun. And it sure does fight that feeling of powerlessness that we can sometimes get, especially when the news is geared to only show us what's bad. It's not geared to show us what's good. We show each other what's good. One more thing. We really are still looking at holding our first service in our new space on State Road 84 in A9. It's the same building we were in before that we moved out of for COVID. 11850 State Road 84, Unit A9. We are really looking at March 31st. March 31st. Now, there are a lot of things that can happen between now and then. This has been an exercise this past 2 years. But we are scheduled to have final inspections this week. If those go our way, then we will be putting out an all call for all hands on deck to come help us move our stuff and get settled enough to have a worship service in there in A9 on March 31st. Not everything will be done. This is going to be a work in progress as we go, as we create this space for ourselves anew. But even if that means we move in just like we move in here and do a Sunday service, guess what we don't have to do? Move out! We get to put the stuff down right there. It doesn't go to anybody's car. It doesn't go to anybody's garage. It doesn't go into any other place, especially in the rain. So, March 31st, pay attention to your email, because in addition to the weekly email, we'll be putting out e-blasts about the kind of help we need and when we need it and where we need it, and that we are, in fact, in there for March 31st. Now, how interesting is it, how synchronous is it, that March 31st begins the holy season of holidays of rebirth and renewal? March 31st is Easter. You want to talk about resurrection? And then we have Earth Day. And then we have Passover. All holidays of liberation. How cool is that? After all this time, that this is how we land. So, hold March 31st in your consciousness. We need all of you going March 31st, March 31st, March 31st. Inspections are scheduled for tomorrow, so we send all of that mojo, however you can, down to A9 to all those people who come in for them to all say, "This is beautiful, y'all, go." That's what we're waiting for. So, watch your email. This next Sunday here may be our last Sunday here, with gratitude for this beautiful space that has served us well. But boy, boy, oh boy, are we ready to put our stuff down. All right, hold that in your hearts. We extinguish this chalice, and guess what else we get to do in our own space? Fire! We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of community, not the fire of commitment, and not the light that calls us on. As we depart this place, let us keep before our eyes the vision of a world transformed and dare to transform ourselves to make it so. Shine on.